Hi, everybody. My name is Alyson, and I'm here today with Abby, and we're coming to you from our podcast, The Fringe. I am the owner and co-founder of Fringe, and Abby is our medical director. So we both have a background as medical providers and somehow have found ourselves working together every day in an absolute out of necessity, trying to help people navigate feeling better. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do over here, is trying to help people feel better. And in our journey in doing so, we have found ourselves making all sorts of cool products that we wish existed, and they don't. So today we're talking about red light therapy, and that has been quite the journey I've been on. So I'm pretty sure Abby's going to ask me all sorts of questions. And, I'm not in clinical practice anymore. I was in clinical practice for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, a really long time ago. But Abby still is in clinical practice and is able to utilize our products throughout the week with her patients and get lots of feedback. So here we are, a couple people on the medical team at Fringe coming to you talking about red light with our current brain sessions happening this morning underneath our headsets.
Helping the brains and the hairs.
Helping the brains and the hair grow with a massive focus on brain health over here.
Yep.
Don't need more hair, need more brain.
You could use less hair, let's be honest.
Yeah, I should tell everybody this.
It actually
just
might
wear
be
this every
problematic
day,
for you.
and your hair is going to look like this.
Well, I feel like a good place to start is just, I know I hear this all the time in person as well as online. I feel like red light therapy is like a buzz term. Most people have heard of it, but then the next question is like, what is it?
Right.
People are like,
Yeah.
oh, I've heard of that. It looks cool. Or I've seen people with those big panels on Instagram. But like,
Yeah.
what actually is red light therapy? Like it's kind of hard to understand. So how would you like define it?
Yes. Red light therapy specifically is the use of both red and near infrared, which makes the name confusing because the near infrared light is so important. So the use of both red and near infrared light to affect our biology. Honestly, that's what it is. And so it's a light therapy. It's not a heat therapy, which some people think it is. It's actually a light therapy used to affect our biology. In the science world, the term is called photobiomodulation. Everything's in Latin. Photo means light. Bio means biology. And being able to moderate it or make changes to our biology is photobiomodulation. So the interesting thing about light therapy is there's so many different forms of light we receive from the sun. And this is kind of where we're at. We're learning about all the different types of light we receive from the sun and their health benefits. Whereas, cue the past 50 years, we just learned about the light we received from the sun and its damage to us. We didn't really understand that all these different types of light we receive from the sun are critical, literally critical to our survival. They basically promote life on Earth. Plants, animals, and humans require the sun. There is no replacement for it. You can't go to the gym more. You can't, eat more meat or eat more vegetables in order to replace the lack of light that we're getting. So I think red light therapy right now is so popular, and it will continue to be popular. But what people don't know is it's really not new. It's been around for decades, 50, 60 years. We've been studying and publishing papers on red light therapy. It's just that really only in the past, short amount of time, maybe 5, 6, 7 years, we as the consumers have had access to utilize red light therapy in our homes. If you wanted red light therapy in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, you had to go into a clinic, maybe a physical therapist or a chiropractor or a medical spa, and you would receive red and near infrared light to improve and change your biology via a laser. And you'd pay hundreds of dollars for your session. And now technology has advanced like it does, and we now have access to red light therapy in our homes, and that matters a lot to us at Fringe. Everything we make is trying to really make it accessible, for people to use, to help people understand why they would use it. But also, light is not something that we need once a month at
Mhm.
our doctor's
Correct.
office. It's
It's
something
hard
that
to
we
move the
need.
needle that way too. Like, I've had
Yes,
patients that have tried that at med spas and stuff, and they're like, "I can't get there 4 times a week for, like, a laser treatment."
right, exactly. Yeah. So this is not to knock laser and red light therapy in laser format. It's absolutely amazing. And I used it in my clinic. I would, be over people's ankle sprains and shoulder injuries, utilizing red and near infrared light, very high
Yep,
powered
yep.
in short periods of time. And it's still incredible clinically. But now we get to learn that, you know what, at the end of the day, light is light. We receive light from the sun. We now study those wavelengths of light. Half of the sun's, about a little less than half of the sun's light that it produces is in this red and near infrared category. It's really, really important.
Mhm,
And it's so safe. And it's so important for promoting and really helping our bodies heal in
mhm.
the environment that we are designed, to heal. So yeah, red light therapy is basically utilizing technology. And, for us, like right now on our heads, we have LED lights that are generating both red and near infrared light. It's coming in, you know, literally to our heads and
Mhm.
through our skulls into our brain, which we'll talk about how that's even possible. And it's affecting the biology underneath, just like it has for, you know, ever since the
Ever.
dawn of
Literally
time.
forever.
Forever. The sun is really important. And if the sun was bad for us, it just wouldn't
We
make
wouldn't be
sense.
here.
We
We
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be
here.
here.
Yeah. So it's
Yep.
really important for us to really embrace this conversation and then, figure out how red light therapy could help people listening to this podcast. So, yeah.
Now, can you talk a little bit more about the difference between red light therapy, like what Fringe has and produces, the panels, the wraps, and laser? Because there still is, I feel like, so much confusion with that. People still have the understanding that laser is better, laser is more effective. What does that actually mean?
Yeah. So it kind of goes to understanding we how light is produced.
Mhm.
So when we receive light from the sun, it literally travels to us on waves. You have to think of it as tiny little balls of energy
Mhm.
traveling to us on these not visible pathways for the most part. And we measure those pathways. We call them wavelengths. So when light travels to us, it travels in these wavelengths. There's short wavelengths, which are some of the different colors of light we receive from the sun, like the blues and the
Mhm.
purples and that sort of thing. And then as we move up, literally the rainbow, we get into these longer wavelengths. Well, red and near infrared light, red is a sort of a moderate or medium size wavelength. And then near infrared starts to get bigger. And then we get even to bigger wavelengths of light into far infrared light that we
Mhm.
receive from the sun. So when that's from the sun, we take it in through our
Mhm.
eyes, we absorb it through our skin. But when it's produced from an LED or a laser, it's different in how it's being produced for our body. So a laser is it's a laser.
Mhm.
Literally think of a laser pointer.
Narrow.
It's narrow. Yeah. But what we receive from the sun is literally, you know, this huge span of wavelengths of light. There's not one, we don't ever receive one specific light
Yep.
from the sun. So a
Yep.
laser is very much so a medically,
Mhm.
clinically oriented device. You can pick one wavelength,
Mhm.
650, and I'm going to
Yep.
just receive that wavelength of light. And it is definitely is higher powered, penetrates deeper, and has to be used in short periods of time. Well, LED lights are much more similar to how the sun produces a wavelength. And this is where this is so frustrating in the industry because people will say, you have to use this specific
Yep. I
wavelength
know.
for
Yep.
this thing. And it's like, that is not how the sun works. So in this, we list this, which is our best selling product. We list this as 660 nanometers. That's the size of the
Mhm.
wavelength of red light. But actually, that's the peak. wavelength of light. It ranges anywhere from 600 and, probably 20, 30 upwards to 680. It's just when companies are saying, oh, you have to have this specific wavelength, that is really not
That's not how
how
it
it
works.
works. It's
Yeah.
just frustrating too. And I think on our end, we'll probably start changing how we even talk about this. And
Mhm.
instead of us saying this is 660 nanometers, it's not really. It's a spectrum
Mhm.
of red light. And then the near infrared light, which is even more confusing to people, in one of these little lights here, we actually have one red light chip and two near infrared light chips, but the near infrared light you can't even see.
Yep.
It's not visible. So if I
Yep.
just were to turn on near infrared light, you wouldn't see anything.
Yeah.
You'd feel this really gentle warmth. And near infrared light and red light are very similar in the effects they have in our body. It's just that the red light is more superficial and the near infrared light can have some deeper,
Mhm.
healing effects on our body. And it does generate just this like really mild warmth, but light therapy isn't heat therapy. So the heat is kind of like just a bonus. Someday we'll talk about far infrared light, which is heat therapy. It's not light therapy, which will be pretty cool to differentiate, how our body responds. But yeah, so laser is very specific wavelength of light, short period of time, very high intensity,
Yep.
used not super
Deeper
regularly.
penetration, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And LED light is a range of wavelengths. It's utilized longer sessions of time, and you can use it very frequently, daily.
Yes.
And it's so because it's low intensity, you can use it in your home. You don't need to have a provider doing the therapy. Is very, very safe. We make it to be like the sun.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
intensity of this light or the power of this light, we can study that from the sun. And
Mhm.
then our philosophy at Fringe is to really not try to outsmart that, to try and say like our biology is very wired to revolve around the sun. And so for us, there are some therapies where you kind of biohack your way and maybe you make it more intense or you make it something different. But with red light, it's really amazing when your intuition, which is like, we shouldn't do
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
also matches thousands
Yes.
of published scientific studies that basically say more is not better here, everybody. When we look at intensity or power of light, every if you were to summarize all the studies and put them in a blender and spit them out, thank goodness we don't have our scientific director here because she'd hate that I just said that. But the truth is, that's how I look at it.
Yes.
When you have thousands of studies, what's the general consensus? And the general consensus is that the sun knows best. And we know the intensity of red and near infrared light throughout the day from the sun. And we should try and engineer
Yes.
and make red light products
In
that
alignment with
jive
that.
with that, in
Yeah.
alignment with that.
Yeah.
So really for us at Fringe, we are very much so saying that our red light therapy and our approach to red light therapy is about supplementing the sun. We sit inside all day. We are supposed to be outside all day. That's how our biology
Mhm.
still is wired. And so we are very much using red light therapy sessions to supplement the sun. We right now are just supplementing the sun through our
Sunbeams going into
sun
our skulls.
into our skulls.
But
Exactly.
I think
So,
that
yeah.
that intensity conversation is so important because I also get asked that a lot because a
Yeah.
lot of our competitors, you'll see in marketing, they really, really push that high intensity. That message of more is better, like medical strength, medical grade, high
Yeah.
intensity. You'll see that all over their marketing and that plays to like the American way, everything more is better,
More is
right?
better. Yeah.
And so people assume that that means higher quality.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a big differentiator in our messaging is that like more isn't better, especially when a product that hopefully you have at home and you're utilizing every day or most days of the week, there's just no need for that level of intensity.
Yeah, because you can actually, with light, there is a window. It's very Goldilocksy. There's a window where too low of an intensity and it won't have an effect
Mhm.
on your biology. That medium bowl, comfy bed intensity will
Mhm.
have the best effect on your biology. And then too high of an intensity is a term called photoinhibition, which is that the effect is negated. And even though you thought, oh, I'll just do more of this, I'll do it more times a day, I'll go buy the highest power device, on the market, that isn't how our body responds, which really should, make sense. It kind of applies to a lot of things that we do. If we go for a mile walk, it's great. We go for 2 miles, 3 miles, we just walk outside and try to run a marathon. It's
Yep.
it's not gonna
Too
go,
much.
well for us. Yeah, too much. Yeah, so moderate, light, and then the thing I'll say about the high intensity is that it was so confusing for me. If we go back 3 years from now, I immersed myself in a world where I was quickly taking YouTube videos on the physics of light and how we study and test light parameters.
How
And
to
I was
measure it.
like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Why is everybody saying you need 100 milliwatts per centimeter square for your red light therapy to work when none of the studies were saying that?
Right.
So the consumer messaging and the science, they've missed each other. And so
Yeah.
we're coming into this market, and if someone reads our website and it says our intensity is 20 to 40 milliwatts per centimeter squared, because that's what the sun is roughly, throughout the day in that range. And that's what is evidence-based. And that's also what we know people respond best to. So there's two real outcomes of that. One is, yes, people are making really intense, powered devices. And the other is that people aren't testing their devices
Yeah, I was
properly.
gonna
And
bring
then,
that up
yeah,
because probably are
yeah.
they just not measuring it like what it is when it hits the skin? They're measuring at the
Well,
surface of the unit?
I mean, twofold is they're not measuring it right. So
Yeah.
if I were to take something in the market right now, sold on Amazon, and it says
Yep.
150, blah, 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 and I brought
Yep.
it here and I tested it, and most importantly, sent it out for third-party testing, it would probably be a half or a third of that. So it's not, you can, if you are going to go test the intensity of this light and you're not using the right tool, you can get
Yeah.
all sorts of
Right.
wild measurements. And so it comes down to knowing that you need a tool that's designed to measure the intensity of light delivered from an LED diode or bulb.
Mhm.
And then you really need to validate your testing, in a
Third
third
party.
party facility. And we publish our testing, which in the beginning I was nervous about because there's not a lot of people that do that. But now I feel like, in order for the industry to get some standards,
Mhm.
hopefully people trend in that direction. And I hope other companies do start trending in the direction of saying, you know, less is more.
Yep.
This
Yep.
isn't 100. We don't want it to be 100. So I had to get real confident in just all the science. And when we brought these into the market saying, yeah, no, we don't compete on
Yep.
intensity.
Yep.
This is why we teach this way. This is what we want people to learn. And at the end of the day, we want people using a really safe and effective product. That's all
Yep.
that matters.
Yep.
So yeah, intensity of light is, I don't
It's
know,
a
it
big
feels like
one.
yeah, and it just feels wild. I don't focus so much on it anymore, but in the first year, I mean, I went down some real
Yeah.
wild rabbit
Yeah.
holes in trying to figure this all out. My house was full, literally, of red light therapy. And the story goes that everyone on Instagram was standing in front of these giant panels
100% naked.
naked.
Yeah.
And they were hanging on the back of their doors, and the panel was
Mhm.
$2,000, and I bought
Mhm.
one. And I stood there and thought, there is no
This is not
way.
the way.
This
There's no
isn't
way I'm
it.
doing that every day.
No, this isn't
There's
it. And
no
then
way.
the crazy thing is, there wasn't a lot of people making direct
Mm-mm.
contact light
Mhm.
products, but all the science says the best way to absorb light
Is
is for
direct
it to be in
contact.
direct contact with your
Yep.
skin. Because if this was God, I have so many wires right now, Abby. If this was a mega panel, right?
Yeah.
And I'm standing in front of it, well, I can't be
You
in
get the
direct
scatter.
contact with it. You would
Yeah.
burn your skin. So between the light source and my face, 60 to upwards of 80% of the light, it has nothing to do with me. It's
Correct. Yeah.
traveling through,
Yep.
the atmosphere. So the crazy thing is, this high powered, device. but what I'm receiving at my skin here is still 20 to 40 milliwatts. And it's the same with this, device,
Wait, can
which
you
is,
show the panel again so
yeah.
people can see how you were talking about? Because in the wraps, the red and near infrared are on the same chip, but you
Oh,
can see on this
yeah.
one, it's every other. So the ones you can't see the red light, you guys, that's the near infrared, the
These are the
invisible
near
light.
infrared bulbs. So people
Mm-hmm.
call us and say half my bulbs
It's
aren't working.
broken. Yeah.
And
Yep.
and then I say, didn't you read the minor
No, they did not.
the
They sure
novel?
did not. It's in the garbage.
I know it is sad to me.
We should
So if
put a
any of you
sticker on the
listening to
front of
this
it. Not
have
broken.
have
Every
ever,
other bulb is invisible.
I mean, why did we wrote a book?
Yeah, I
It's
know.
really amazing when
It's
someone reads
beautiful.
it. I feel like I want to send them a gift every time saying, you actually read the guide? But that's amazing. But yeah, this is high intensity. And so, when you read an intensity and you say, ooh, this is a 1,000-watt panel, but you
Yeah.
have to stand 24
Yeah.
inches from it, then you're paying thousands of dollars for this mega, powerful panel. And all of it really started to make sense to me. And I thought,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, this seems like the best thing we should do is make an affordable panel because
It
it's
really is.
amazing and it
Yeah.
lights up the room and it gets a big area of your body, but then also make all these products
Yeah.
that can be in contact with your body that are lower intensity where you get the same dosage of
Correct.
light.
No, way
So,
easier.
yeah, that's
Okay.
the backstory.
We
Yep,
need to talk about how red light therapy works.
works. Yeah.
You have the wrap on your body, direct skin contact. You're absorbing it. What's going on?
So, basically, to summarize it, red light therapy, aka half the sun, energizes the cells in our body and basically almost all of them. And all we are is a big walking bag of cells.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to say cell, it's what makes up my hair, it what makes up my skin, it what makes up all of my organs, my blood vessels, my nervous system, my ligaments, my tendons, my muscles, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when we receive light from the sun or from a light source and it comes into our body and it is absorbed through our skin, it basically energizes that cell. It's absorbed into a little compound inside of our cells called our mitochondria, which is kind of a buzzword now. People are like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you got
Oh, yeah.
mitochondrial
Mitochondrial
dysfunction.
health.
Oh, right? But at the core of it, our cells and our mitochondria, it is very important. They are energized by the
Yep.
sun.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's so amazing.
it's so
like charging
amazing
your battery.
that the thing in the sky that
Mm-hmm.
goes up every day and goes down every day actually is what energizes our body. It's why our
And that
animals,
we're told is killing all of us and giving us cancer, but that's a talk for another day.
another podcast, yes,
Mhm.
where we'll talk about UV light and
Yep.
why we need it and what it does. But yeah, so it energizes our cells. So here's the cool part. I receive that little ball of energy. It comes through my skin, goes
Yep.
into my body, whoop, like literally think of it like that. The cells are energized. But what's amazing is the cascade of events that happens after that, because that's where, for me, when I describe red light therapy, I describe it as supporting the body's natural healing mechanisms, which would
Yep.
make sense. If something's going to energize our cells, then our cells already have a job. I have cells in my skin called fibroblasts. Their job is to make and repair my skin and to build collagen. I have cells in my bones called osteoblasts. They're there to osteoclasts. They're there to build my bone. We have all these cells. So when we energize them, they can just do their job better. When our body and our cellular health is good, we naturally have very good circulation. So one of the amazing outcomes of red light therapy is that the cell energizes and we see this improvement in circulation. So improved blood flow to an area is a really amazing, well-measured, well-documented outcome. Anything I'm trying to do to heal or restore health,
Yep.
blood is necessary. So
Yep.
the crazy thing is, obviously for my brain, do I want more blood flow? Yeah, I really do. Everything I could go pay for on my face to try and make myself look younger would be about blood flow into the
Yep.
area.
Yep.
And then also a really cool
Collagen.
outcome is that once our cells are energized, we have this rebuilding repair that naturally happens to an area. So when an area is injured or we want to stimulate regrowth or rebuilding in an area, we see this sort of collagen and elastin increase production, which is amazing for skin, but it's also amazing in our joints.
Yep.
People
Yep.
think of collagen as just skin, but it's not. It's everywhere in your body. All of our tissue needs collagen and elastin to have good integrity and strength. And so that is an outcome of this
Mhm.
energizing of the cells. And then another one that I always talk about. So I always talk about blood flow, so
Mhm.
important. Always
Mhm.
talk about rebuilding and repairing into an area. So collagen and elastin. And then the other one, which is very important in a sick world, is that it moderates inflammation. So for most people, that will be an anti-inflammatory effect of red light therapy, which is absolutely incredible. So you take light and your body's healing environment, which is always going to be energy, blood flow, repair and regeneration, and reduce inflammation. Then I always say to people, ask me a question. Ask me a question if red light
Yep.
therapy could help
Yep.
X and
XYZ.
the XYZ. And the answer is going to be, does that XYZ improve with cellular energy, blood flow, reducing inflammation, and rebuilding and repairing? And the answer is yes. So it's very
Correct.
fun to answer questions when you've had a therapy that's been around for 50 or 60 years, because we get to say, yes, it's incredible,
Mhm.
reduces inflammation, increases blood flow. Oh, by the way, here's 3 papers. We don't know if you'll read them, but how cool is this? You want to
Mhm.
ask me about Parkinson's, crow's feet, cold sores, thyroid health, heart
Yep.
disease,
Yep.
bronchitis. Like I literally could go top
On
to
and on and
bottom.
on. Mhm.
And it's so fun because yesterday we got asked a question about some medical condition that I had to look up. I was like, I don't
The
literally don't even know
cysts?
what that is. The cysts,
Yeah, I know.
sacral cysts.
I
And I
was
was
like,
like,
I have never heard of that.
yeah, which was amazing. All our medical team, you guys ask us a question, then we are like, oh, cool. Yeah, we've answered this before.
Yeah.
Or all
Yeah.
of us go,
Whoa.
what's that?
Yeah.
But we understand the body. We understand how the body heals. Could red light therapy have helped this, person with these very painful cysts? Reduces inflammation,
Yep.
improves blood
Yep.
flow, helps with rebuilding and repairing. Yeah. And then I guess what you always say is, why not try? When
Mhm.
something is so safe
It's so
and
low
so
risk.
easy,
Mhm.
why wouldn't you,
Mhm.
try?
And even if maybe it doesn't, let's say, reduce the cysts. The worst case scenario, you get a mitochondrial boost and lower some inflammation.
And
You
reduce
know,
pain,
and
which
you're
is
still, like,
really,
supporting your overall health
yeah, the pain
every
is
day.
what really people are asking about,
Mhm.
so yeah, pain and function. That's, and the two go hand in hand. So that is how red light therapy works. And there's, we teach a 7-hour course on it. It's not exactly that easy, but it kind of actually is. You don't need to
It
take a
kind of
7-hour.
actually is
It
when it
kind of
comes
actually
down to
is.
it. It's
Yeah.
like and this I get this question all the time where people are like, "Well, it really seems too good to be true." And I'm like, "I know, but let
It's
me
this,
tell you,
it's the
the more
sun.
stuff that comes out every day, it just keeps confirming it." Like
Yeah.
there was this study I posted about not that long ago how a 15-minute red light therapy session to the back lowered
Your
blood glucose by
low
30
blood sugar,
points.
lowered blood sugar. Yeah.
How do
So
you
once you've
explain that? So
Once you've
it's like
absorbed light, it's systemic, right? Because it is
correct.
being absorbed into these actually little mitochondria that float around in your blood.
Mhm.
So the effect is like, yeah, they do studies where they put light on rats' shins and then their blood glucose goes down. So
Correct.
it's
That's where it's like
really
it's not only
no,
you're not only affecting the exact area where the red light therapy is
no,
either. And that's
no.
something I think we of like are at the tip of the iceberg of understanding really still.
Yeah, which is really for us, as a society, it's very hard because we have been programmed that you take
Mhm.
your eyes to an eye doctor, you take your
Yep.
brain to a brain doctor. You literally take your part out and go take
Yep.
it to this doctor and that
Yep.
doctor. Whereas, me putting light through my brain is affecting my gut right now. It's
Mhm.
affecting my endocrine system and the hormones that I produce in my body. It's everything. It's affecting my mood. It's affecting how I'm going to sleep tonight. Yes, it's affecting blood flow and inflammation in the brain tissue, but the effect is so systemic. And so it's this, parts versus whole conversation, which is funny because the name Fringe for our company is at the root of when I started this, being chiropractors, we are always considered the fringe of the medical community. We have been referred to that very
Yes.
term for a
Yes.
long time. And for me, I just sort of had this shift where I was like, I think that's a compliment, everyone. I actually think it's
100%.
a compliment because if you're out here talking about things that maybe we don't understand completely, but they're helping people and we're learning about them. And yes, it might not be completely mainstream. That's where growth happens.
Correct. That's how
So,
we evolve, and let's be honest, the old
yeah,
way isn't working
it's not working. We're so
at
sick and
all.
we're getting sicker. So you need to jump to the fringe with us and
Yeah.
say, yeah, I'm willing to try that, or I'm willing to learn about that, or
Mhm.
gosh, I've never heard about that. And instead of being standoffish,
Mhm.
being more open to the opportunity that there's, so much in this natural world that we need to reconnect with.
Mhm.
And we should start with the very thing that powers the entire universe that we live in,
Love
the
it.
sun. The sun. Okay, so that's how red light therapy works. Should
Let's
we
talk
talk
about how to
about
use it.
all the places we could use it?
Yeah, and how, like, for how long, how many times per week, like, how can people get the most benefit out of it?
So red light therapy is safe to use every day. We get asked about that a lot. We always
Mhm.
recommend 3 to 5 times a week. I think that gives people um, a very good beginning or guideline. Guardrails is sometimes what I call it, and I'll explain why. Um, Red light therapy, once you do a session, so let's say I do this, I sit at night and I put this over my chest area. I want to get thyroid. I want to get lymphatics. I find it super relaxing to be over my chest area, my heart.
Mhm.
That's my go-to at night, just sits here. When I do a 20-minute session, which is generally we recommend a 10 or 20-minute session, and our products are geared towards that dosage of light, meaning our intensity and our time is the most, evidence-based suggestion. But the cool part is after I do that, all the activity happening underneath happens for 24 to 48 hours. It's
Mhm.
really cool.
It's really
Like,
crazy.
it's really crazy. They measure all these different markers in our body, including the ATP or the energy that's produced by our cells. But a great example would be nitric oxide is a chemical that can be released that increases the blood flow after a red light therapy session.
Mhm.
Well, they look at nitric oxide levels, and those aren't reaching peak levels till like 6, 7, 8 hours after a session.
Wow.
So what you don't want to do is go, red light, that felt amazing. Gonna do it again, gonna
Yep.
do it again,
Yep.
gonna do it again, because you get into that, what I talked about earlier is where you inhibit the response. So you have to think of light as a stimulus, let your body respond to it, very similar to exercise, give yourself time, downtime. So we do have people who do it every day. Absolutely. There are certain conditions, if it's really acute, where we may say, hey, reduce your time, do this only a few times this week because the body already is working so hard to heal in the area. But for the most part, it becomes a part of people's daily routine. We tell people over one area at least, 3 to 5 times a week. It can be done daily safely just because everyone's going to ask that.
Mhm.
Um, and your treatment times are 10 to 20 minutes. And that's red light therapy in a nutshell. It is not black and white. For someone, a 10-minute session may feel great. The general timeframes are 10 to 30. And then, the frequency is so different. And so what's so important is that people understand that you don't have to use it every day to feel the benefit. And if you are using it a few times a week and you're like, oh, my shoulder feels so much better, or like my digestion has been so much better, and then you think, oh, I have to do more of this, but you don't notice
Yeah.
that big improvement, then you didn't really need,
Yeah.
to do more of it.
Yeah.
So like for my head, I probably do this 3 times a week. I do it on Zoom calls. You guys see me. My head wrap just sits here. For me, this is for memory. This is
Mhm.
for preventing a lot of brain, health, cognitive decline that I am legitimately concerned about. So if anyone out there is seriously wondering what's going wrong in their brain, join us.
Join us in the head wrap club.
If you happen to be
3 to 4
45
times a week.
45 to 55-year-old women, let me tell you, this is essential. Yeah, and I probably really only do it 3 times a week, when it comes to my personal red light therapy routine. And I think someone at some point on this podcast can be like, you should just go out in the sun more. You absolutely should. If you could literally change your life right now and be out in the sun way more every day, there is no replacement for that. But if you do live on Earth with the rest of us and have a job and you don't sit outside 90% of your day, then figure out a routine that you enjoy and that's really feasible, for you to incorporate. For some people, that's just flopping down in their beds at night and putting some sort of red light therapy on them and saying, whew, that was quite the day. Other people have very extensive,
Yeah.
red light therapy routines. I'm very normal. So mine is sort of on the go and, I'm not doing an hour of Tai Chi with red light therapy beaming on me every day.
You're not?
No,
Shocking.
I'm not. I'm running around and then sometimes I'm like, don't leave the house with your red light therapy head wrap on.
But that is part of the amazing thing about the wraps is like you can wrap your back while you're driving carpool. I mean, it is doable on the go, which is really nice for people.
I mean, when I designed it for maximum brain exposure. I didn't design
And
it
style.
for fashion. However, that just happened to be the coolest looking hat
A bonus
you've ever
side
worn.
effect is how cool it looks.
I mean, let's start at the top about what you can use red light therapy for. Brain health is incredible. You can use it for hair growth. You'll see all sorts of we made this for brain health, but it has the wavelengths in it that help with hair growth. So it's kind of a byproduct of it. It just energizes the hair follicles, which have cells in them, produce energy, help with hair growth. But for brain health, it is really cognition and memory, improving blood flow, reducing inflammation, and neuroinflammation or brain inflammation is at the root of what a lot of people experience as devastating family diseases. So Parkinson's disease, MS, Alzheimer's, dementia, that category of where you sort of have a neuroinflammatory, neurodegenerative disease.
Or people with like brain injury, concussion.
Yeah, concussion, TBI, CTE has some incredible, research as well. And then also in a younger population, ADHD and autism. So, the thing is, I've not been diagnosed with any of those things. I don't care to be. So for me, receiving light every day into my brain when I have a family history of dementia, I have had concussions, I could talk for 6 hours on this podcast about brain health, but let's move to our faces because that's something else.
Costume change.
I don't know how to really get this on with my headset, but this is costume change. Okay, everybody?
Oh, I have to take my glasses off for
I'm going to talk while Abby demos us. Now, I know that I must look so much younger than Abby, but I'm not, everyone. Abby has amazing skin and her skin routine. Are you putting your glasses on?
No.
All that matters is that we make a clip from this.
This is a lot going on.
Okay, so are we a beauty company? No, everyone. We are actually extremely nerdy group of medical providers who actually started making face and skin products because we wanted them for ourselves. That ends up being the
Yeah.
story of everything we've made.
And there's
And
a
so
big demand for it too.
huge
People
demand.
want it.
People were saying,
Yeah.
Fringe, can you guys make a face
Yep.
mask? And so then we did. We went in and made an affordable, effective, science-backed face mask. This first setting that Abby's on has red and near infrared light. Guess what happens when you go to the spa and you get a facial or a laser or some crazy, invasive therapy at a med spa? Is that you promote blood flow, you promote oxygen to the tissue because blood's flowing there, you stimulate collagen and elastin production, and you reduce inflammation. That's literally what light does. And you have to use it regularly at a lower intensity throughout the day. So it has red and near infrared light. Use it 10 minutes a day, but it also has this blue light setting, which is really cool because blue light gets a bad rap. We think that blue light is bad. No, blue light from our phones and our computers is bad, but we receive blue light from the sun every day. That is antibacterial, antimicrobial, and incredibly good actually for our overall body energy response. But using blue light for our skin helps with acne, certain skin rashes, oil production, pore size. So
I
that
have a
blue light
question
setting,
actually about that. This
just keep
Ooh, my
talking.
teeth look so white.
Yeah.
Blue light. People ask this a lot.
Yeah.
Would it be harmful to do the blue light setting like before bed?
Right, because blue light is actually energizing. The blue light we receive from the sun stimulates a good cortisol response in our body. We're energized by it. I would say it's not ideal to do blue light before bed, but probably the most honest answer to that is to do it when you can do it.
I know.
But,
Yep.
if you're using the blue light setting before bed, close your eyes, use our eye shields that we provide. Don't do what Abby's doing and have your glasses on and be on your phone looking at blue light while you put blue light on your face. But yeah, the honest answer is no. It'd be a little better to do blue light, sometime
I usually
throughout
tell
the
people
day.
too, I feel like people know if they're the type of person that's super sensitive to that. Like if you're the type of person where you are on a screen, you're watching TV, you're scrolling before bed, and then you can't fall asleep, then probably don't do your, blue light before bed. But some people, I've never had a problem with that personally.
No.
It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah, someone's going to ask whether it's safe for your eyes or not. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Keep in mind that when you apply light to your face, here's the bonus. Yes, you're using it for your skin and for but there are so many cool health benefits of putting light through your face. You have so many superficial blood vessels. You have lymphatics. It's just really cool. And then your forehead is an amazing entryway to your brain. So yes, you may buy this for vain reasons, but you should feel really solid that it's actually a health.
For sinus stuff, it's the absolute best.
Incredible when you're really congested, allergies, cold and flu season.
To get it all right here.
If you want your face to match your neck and your chest, then this is the neck and chest mask.
Very important. Yeah.
But here's the amazing thing. Also made by a group of medical professionals who wanted the light to cover your clavicles, where you have so much lymphatic activity. Your lymphatics is what keeps your body clean, keeps the junk moving out of your system. Over your thyroid for people who have hypothyroid problems like I do, just really cool circulatory benefits of the neck and chest mask. Okay, moving along. This is just our wrap. That's what it's called. And we sell so many of these and
Catch
people
all.
Catch all. So I think an important thing is if someone tells you that you have to have this product for this thing, they're wrong. They're absolutely
it's the same
wrong.
Lights.
Can I take this and put it here? Yes. Do we have a little bit of different wavelengths in this one than this one? Yeah, we do. But do you remember what I said in the beginning? It's a range of wavelengths. So don't sweat it. This can be used literally. It's a catch-all. We have these in my house beside kids' beds at night. They put them over their tummies if we're fighting something, over every ache and pain and bump and bruise and sprain and strain imaginable. Like I said, I lay with this. I don't use our neck and chest mask, everyone. I love it. I designed it, but I lay with this on me at
Yeah.
night because I just
Yeah.
find it easier.
Yep.
And this is beside my bed. So this literally can deliver light everywhere. Um, you every system that you may ask about, you can lay this over the area to support it. Blood
Mhm.
flow, tissue repair, reduce inflammation, and energize the cells in the area. So this is really incredible. I'd say a lot of people do use this over their gut, which I know you recommend to a lot of patients. So can you speak to that?
I mean, the gut is if you're gonna work on one area of your body, arguably, it would be the gut to me. Gut health is so foundational for so many things. It's how we detox, it's how we absorb nutrients, it's where a lot of people struggle. It's the majority of our immune function. And then you've got the gut brain axis whole thing going on. We both talk about this quite a bit. If you were going to pick one area, I think to get the biggest bang for your buck, it would be like a session on your abdomen, a session over your head, right? To get kind of both those areas. And I just tell patients, it's just a great overall wellness practice. Who doesn't want to support their gut health? So, 3, 4, 5, 7 times a week, going over your abdomen. And then I work with a lot of women in my practice. And it's amazing also for reproductive health. So, whatever
Yep.
stage you're at in that process, to do a session over your lower abdomen, so many mitochondria in our reproductive systems. So, whether you've got a high school daughter who struggles with cramping around her cycle, my favorite thing for menstrual cramps, whether you're addressing fertility and challenges that come with that, whether you're perimenopause, menopause, just supporting whatever area of your health you are currently focused on with healing or improving, red light therapy is like a no brainer add on to support cellular energy, healing, lower inflammation, increase circulation, all those things we've talked about. So for the gut, it really is great. I really love it for sensitive patients who have maybe tried herbal supplements, peptides, like all these other things. And, some of those patients can just be so reactive, or like their, reactions to trying these protocols are just so extreme that it's like not worth it. They feel like they're going backwards. Red light therapy is a beautiful way to start for people and just a
Yep.
gentle way to support.
Yeah, it is really fun because I think there's so much that we're being told we need to go do for our health. And
Mhm.
some of it is not easy.
Yep.
Straight up, some of it is like, that's not easy. I mean, you just say that so casually. Oh, you should cold plunge 3 times a week. No,
Nope.
I
Nope.
don't want to. And
Nope.
I don't enjoy that either.
No.
Also, plus, that's not the easiest thing to do. And it's like
Yeah.
this by far on everything we go make and do, probably at Fringe, will still always be the easiest thing.
Yeah.
And
I
that
call it
people
like the laziest biohack.
laziest
Like if you are like,
biohack.
I can't do a red light wrap, like I don't even know. You
Yeah. Because the
can. It's
funny thing
grooving
is,
the habit, but it's like
yeah,
slap it on while you're
you're
watching TV.
also, just in case everyone was wondering, you're also supposed to work on your breathing every day. Well, guess what? We all breathe every day, but you're supposed to consciously work on your breathing every day. And if you had a choice at 7 p.m. at night when
Yes.
you've had a day and you're going to
Yes.
lay on the couch and throw this thing on your belly, or you're
Yes.
going to go, oh, now I need to do my breathing routine. Nope.
Yep. Yeah.
Light wins.
That's doable. Yeah.
Light, light wins. I'm
If
still
you're picking
breathing.
one thing. Okay,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, because I know we're
Yeah.
getting close,
Oh, wait.
we
I
need to
mean, we
talk
have a,
about
what were you going to say?
I was gonna say we need to talk about uses for children.
Yes.
I mean, the answer is it's amazing for kids, same thing we just said. But
Yes.
people ask, is it safe for kids? Should you do a different intensity? Should you do less time? How often should kids do it?
Yeah. Less for sure. I mean, kids, pets,
Mhm.
every elderly. Like, everyone has a range within this that is most safe, I guess you could say. Kids, reducing time, 20 minutes is a little long, 10 minutes is way better. Certain applications would be easy. Like, my kids, putting 20 minutes on them, they're teenagers. They don't care. They're just watching TikTok with their red light on them, so it's fine. But little kids, moving around, toddlers, even infants, yeah, you reduce your time. It can be even a few minutes. It could be 5 minutes. We have adjustable light intensity on all of our wraps too. So here's 100%. And then here, oh, this is a demo wrap. Well, you know what I'll do? Little spoiler alert. Here's 100%.
Woo.
And there's 50% on this cute little wrap, which everyone will be seeing in the near future, which is really geared at, being able to take, yeah, the younger population and be able to, we get asked all the time about
Yep.
kid.
Yep.
Everything we just talked about.
My
Yes,
daughter
light
loves
is,
it.
oh,
Anything that happens, she's like, I need red light. I'm
yeah,
sick. I
she's
need
our
red light.
main influencer.
Correct.
She's amazing.
Her
So yeah,
podcast will come out shortly.
it's incredible for
Yep.
kids. It's incredible for your pets.
Yes.
It is incredible for your pets. And so, yeah, I think, to conclude this, are there any people who should not use red light therapy?
Yep.
That's an important conversation.
Yep.
And the answer is yes. If you cannot safely be out in the sun for 20 minutes, you should not use red light therapy. So some people are sensitive to the sun. That doesn't
Mhm.
mean you can't use red light therapy. It just means you have to exercise the same caution you would, with
Start
exposure and
slow.
time. Start slow, start with a few minutes, reduce the intensity of light. Just know that your sensitivity, if someone's normal session is 20 minutes every day, you might be 5 minutes a few times a week. So photosensitivity, some medications cause it, some medical conditions cause it. That's your caution. There's other areas that we say you can't use red light therapy because there hasn't been enough research.
Mhm.
So that's an important distinction. We say you cannot use red light therapy over an active cancer site or over the pregnant abdomen
Mhm.
because it hasn't been researched enough. Once it's more researched, because people are researching that
Yeah.
and publishing information on it, then we'll be able to change, recommendations for it. So those are the main things, and then knowing how red light therapy works, that it promotes blood flow to an area. If there's any reason that you should not have that, an open wound would be a great example where you wouldn't want more blood flowing, to
Yeah.
the area. But if we always recommend that you talk to your tending physician or doctor about the therapy. Sometimes they may not know a lot about it, and then we get a lot of questions, but we do try to ensure people that it is really safe. It's very gentle, therapy, and that there's so many ways for them to ease and control,
Mhm. Mhm.
a session. That's a really important thing. And, for us, I thought we would make a wrap in a panel, and here we are now, a few years later, with red light
All
therapy
the
products
shapes, all the things.
I never thought, we would make in a million years. So, um, yeah, this is where we're at, and there's so much more to go and do. And I think for me, I'm just most excited to see what people are learning about light and its effect on our health, and for us to be reading about it, writing about it, talking about it. We talk about some real intimate health issues. And when we can make something that helps people, that's super safe, we're going to go make it. So sky's the limit for us. This feels like just the beginning, even though we've been slugging away making red light
Seems
therapy
like
for a while.
forever, but it's the beginning still.
Seems like forever. So yeah. So that's a little red light 101 from Abby and Alyson on the Fringe.